President Obama, Michelle is amazing. Question. And on behalf of all my YLAI fellows, thank you for this amazing opportunity. And all the fellows that are looking, there are more fellows looking right now from their countries because they couldn't come to Peru. So thank you for all the fellows that are watching right us now. President Obama, okay. Well, it's a great question. I mean, Michelle probably would have more to say about this because you know, she's gone through it as a professional woman. But let me offer just a few observations. First of all, the leaders and the men in every country need to understand that the countries that are most successful are going to be the countries that give opportunities to girls and women, and not just boys and men. And if you look at which countries are doing best, most advanced, grow the fastest, it's partly because you can't have half the population uneducated, not working, out of the house, not in leadership positions. And expect to be as good as a country where 100% of the people are getting a good education. And having opportunities, and can do amazing things, starting a business or entering into politics or what have you. So this is not just a problem for girls and women, men have to also recognize, this is good for you. And if you're a strong man, you shouldn't be threatened that women are doing well. You should be proud that women are doing well. And families where women have opportunity, that means they're going to be able to bring in more income. which means the family as a whole is going to do better. And let's be honest, sometimes, that whole machismo attitude sometimes makes it harder for women to succeed. And sometimes that is coming even from those who love them. So, men, those of you who end up being fathers and you've got daughters, you've got to lift up your daughters. Just telling them they're pretty is not enough. You've got to tell them they're smart. And you got to tell them they're ambitious, and you have to give them opportunity. So once you have the whole country thinking in those terms, then you need to start having policies that can support women. And the most important thing, in addition to making sure that girls from an early age are getting a good education and that they're not being told, oh, you can just do certain things like engineering, that's a man's job, or being scientist, that a man's job. No, no girls can do everything. It can't just be, you know. Be a teacher, which is a wonderful profession, but, traditionally, women sometimes are just told there are a few things they can do: nurse, teacher, as opposed to anything. Right? So that starts once you've done that, then you have to recognize that the big conflicts that women have in the professional world has to do with family and child rearing. And for biological reasons, women have more of a burden than men do. But it's not just biology, it's also sociology, alright? Men's attitudes is, well, yeah, I don't have to do as much. And even in my marriage with Michelle, I like to think of myself as a modern, enlightened man. But I'll admit it, Michelle did more work than I did with Sasha and Malia. So part of what societies can do, though, is they can help with, for example, having smart policies for child care. One of the hardest things for professional women, particularly when their children are still small and not yet in school, is who's going to take care of my baby when I'm working. And how do I make sure that they're safe and that they're trusted? So making sure that governments have policies in place that help. Now, having a mother-in-law who helps, that's also very useful. But not everybody has the option where they have family members who are close by. So that's an example of something that we have to really work on. Then we have to put pressure on institutions to treat women. Equally when it comes to getting loans to start a business. Up until just maybe 20 years ago, in some places in the United States even a husband had to sign a loan document with a bank. Even though it was the wife's business. Even if the woman was the one making the money, it was her idea, it was her investment, she was doing all the work. Because of these old stereotypes, you're having men co-sign. That kind of mentality, that kind of discrimination still exists in a lot of institutions. So we have to push back against those, we have to fight against those. Women who are successful, you have to then fight for the younger women who are coming behind you. And make sure that you are changing some of these attitudes. If you are high up in a bank, then you got to make sure that these policies are good for women. If you succeed in politics, then you have to help promote and encourage women who are coming behind you. So the last thing I guess I would say would be, I know that Michelle says this to our daughters. You can be a wonderful mom and have a wonderful family and have a really successful career. You may have to kind of not try to do everything all at the same time exactly. You may have to time things out a little bit and have a husband who supports taking turns a little bit. So it may be that when the child is very young, you're not doing something that is as hard. Because having a really young child is already really hard, and you have to sleep sometimes. But then as the child gets older, maybe that's when you are doing something. Maybe your husband is doing something that gives him more time to support that child. So there's going to have to be finding the right balance throughout your life in order to be successful. But congratulations on the good work you're doing. Alright, I've got time for, so I only have time for 2 more questions. I'll call on that gentleman up there with the glasses, in the blue shirt. No. No, right here. Let him ask his question, and then I'll ask the last one. Go ahead. Question, hello, Mr. President. President Obama, hello. Question, it's really an honor to ask you this question. Well, my name is Alonso Cornejo PH. I'm studying marketing at Universidad San Ignacio Loyola. President Obama, well, look, you're already doing so well. I don't know that I can give you the perfect advice. But I'll tell you what I tell my young people who work in the White House and who I meet in the United States. Because I think what's true in the United States is true for you, as well. We live at a time where you're always seeing bad news. Everybody bad news gets a lot of attention. But the truth is that, in some many ways, the world is better now than it was 20 years ago or 40 years ago, or 100 years ago. People are healthier today, they're wealthier today, they're better educated today. The world, if you look overall, is less violent than it was. Look at the 20th century, millions of people dying everywhere. Look at Latin America and the wars that were taking place everywhere across the continent. And so you actually are living in a time of relative peace and historic prosperity. And I say that so that you should feel optimistic about the future. You shouldn't feel pessimistic. Yeah, you're always seeing bad news. But the truth is the world is in a place where it can solve its problems and be even better 20 years from now or 50 years from now. You have to start with that hope, that sense of optimism inside you, because if you don't feel that way, then you don't bother to try to have an impact because you think, ah, Every politician is corrupt and all the governments are terrible, and people are greedy and people are mean. And so I'm just going to look out for myself. And then nothing gets better. So you have to start. Knowing that things have gotten better and can continue to get better. That's number one. Number two, I always tell young people to, and I don't know if this translates well in Spanish, but I say, worry more about what you want to do, and not what you want to be. Now, here is what I mean. I think a lot of people, they say to themselves, I want to be rich, or they say to themselves, I want to be powerful. Or they say, I want to be the president, or I want to be a CEO, or I want to be a rap star. So they say they have this idea, but the people I know who are most successful, usually they're successful because they found something that they really care about, and they worked at it and became really good at it. And over time, because they were so good at what they did, they ended up being rich, or they ended up being powerful and influential. But in the meantime, they were constantly doing what they enjoyed doing and learning. And that's what made them successful. So what I would say to all of you is, find something you care deeply about. If you care about poor children, then find a way right now that you can start helping some poor children. Don't wait, saying to yourself, oh, someday, when I'm president of Peru, I'm going to help poor children. No, go now and find an organization or create an organization. That is helping poor kids learn or be exposed to new experiences.